Yes, Zambia, Guinée.
La Zambie, la Guinée, le Malawi, le Togo.
Slovenia. Okay. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear representatives of the media. We will be starting our press conference. My name is Notre. I am responsible for road safety at the WHO, and I will be the moderator for this press conference. First, I would like to make the most of this opportunity to thank you for your attendance and your coverage, which has made this event the success that it is. We very much appreciate your participation. I will be introducing the panels who require no introduction. The Minister for Transport and Logistics of the Kingdom of Morocco, the Honorable Caillou, the Mr. Jean Todt, Special Envoy of the UN. We have the representative of the WHO, Etienne Krug, as well as a representative of the World Bank, Saïd Dada, and you all know Moulajour. We will start with a few opening words and call upon the Honourable Minister to share a few words with us. Thank you very much, Mr. Nan, moderator for this press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, representatives of the media, national and international, my dear friend Tedros, Special Envoy of the General Secretary for Road Safety, Mr. Etienne Krug, the Special Envoy of the WHO, Mr. Saïd Dada, representative of the World Bank, who is a major partner in world safety, Mr. Benasser Benazur, Director of the Moroccan National Agency for Road Safety, NARSA. Ladies and gentlemen, I am particularly honored to welcome you to this closing ceremony of the 4th Global Ministerial Conference on Road Safety, which was held from the 18th to Ochre City of Marrakesh. This is an opportunity for us to thank the press, both national and international, for following closely and enlivening and enriching the debates of this Congress, both behind the scenes and in the plenaries and side panels, before and during the opening, especially with our support for the Youth Congress, which was successfully held and saw the presence of 60 countries and 200 youth from across the world, aged 16 to 28. which was for us an important stepping stone, as the youth of today will be the managers and leaders of tomorrow. In this Congress, I will mention a few figures which are very promising. As you know, with our friends, the invitation were co-signed with a focus on governments, with no exceptions. We invited 150 countries to be present, with 90 ministers of transport from across the world, as well as secretaries of states and ministers of the interior. The invitations also focused on 2,500 experts and 5,200 registrations on the website. And despite the limited space, we were able to accommodate all 5,200 people who were able to attend the full Congress. And of course, 150 delegations led by high-level representatives and as well as Secretary of States across the last few days. We've had very constructive dialogue, exchanged precious ideas, and reaffirmed our common commitment to safer roads. One of the main results of this conference has been the adoption of the Marrakesh Declaration, as I mentioned it in the closing ceremony this morning. The first point is the recognition and the impact of the vision of His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, may God assist him. And we'd like to thank him for the high patronage His Majesty has granted to our event, and the grant of a prize for the best research in road safety, which was validated by the prize committee and granted equally to the World Health Organization and the UN. This bears testimony to the kingdom's commitment to the international community on all issues related to the priorities, including, of course, road safety. And to our eyes, this trophy as organizer and co-organizer has been the cherry on the cake, showcasing the trust placed in the Kingdom of Morocco in both organizing this event and saving lives. This declaration was widely shared by member states on the official website. It is very rich and detailed. I encourage you all, ladies and gentlemen, to read it on the website with the URL shared to you shortly. This declaration has been approved and heavily supported for its vision and focuses on the main principles that we should focus on: strong leadership, shared responsibility, and sustainable financing. So, Mr. Dahda from the World Bank, I suggest that you prepare your votes. And before closing my remarks, I would like to make the most of this opportunity to join the numerous countries who have committed over the last 2 days with a special focus on the rise of motorcycles and light motorcycles, with the Ministry of Transport and Logistics committing to adopting a resolution that will impose that on the purchase of any motorcycle, be it two-wheeler or three-wheeler, to purchase 2 UN-certified helmets. This commitment by the Kingdom of Morocco works towards having the number of deaths in road accidents by 2030. This decision was the fruit of much discussion with our partners here and abroad, and I must confess that our conversations with Mr. Jean Todt and Mr. Etienne Krog played a significant role in this declaration. We do have helmets which are certified internationally, and my dear friend Jean Todt will provide us with a demonstration of these breathable helmets that provide a full security of both the driver and passengers for $20, which means they are clearly within reach, which are clearly affordable, as this category of road users is the most exposed to accidents. And it is no accident that we distributed almost 50,000 helmets in the village and signed an agreement with the Ministry of Water and Equipment and the region of Marrakech Tensift, as well as with the Honorable Minister for Accommodation and Mayor of Marrakech, as well as with His Excellency the Wali, to act in hotspots for accidents and the distribution of these helmets and the strengthening of education and outreach for the kindergarten and primary education students with the Ministry of the Education and the Regional Academy for Education, which will be focus on 22,000 students between 15 and 11 years old. Please bear in mind also that the NARSA, the Moroccan Agency for Road Safety, has developed a education program dedicating to that age band, and we call for such actions to be multiplied, as we are convinced that education can significantly impact accidents on the roads. Of course, these actions are on the mid to long term. A young person who is exposed to training on road safety from 5 years old to 11-year-old will be much more aware of road safety when they come to taking the driving test, and will have an impact but 10 odd years later. So these actions are in the long term, are focused on the long term, not the short term. Without monopolizing time, as I would like to give my friends some time as well, I would like to thank you once again. And in speaking for the committee, the organization committee, and our partners, we would like to thank His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, for this gesture, which will remain very much at the forefront of our thoughts in the next events. I would also like to thank the General Directorate for the Security of the Kingdom, General Hamamou of the Gendarmerie, and the representatives of the civil society and the civil protection organizations who have shined through in organizing. They have spared no expense, working day and night to ensure the safety and comfort of all participants, and I would like to thank them all here and now in our collective name.
Thank you very much, dear Minister. And now I would like to call Dr. Etienne Tu as a co-sponsor for few words or the summary of the conference. Thank you very much, Nan, ladies and gentlemen. Our transportation systems killed since the invention of a car. A large numbers of people were dead on the roads. And our transportation system is the cause of the death, which is considered the first one for children and for young people worldwide. We accept this since a decade, and this shouldn't be this way. There are a lot of panoply of measures that can be implemented in order to be sure that there are road safeties. For example, countries, Sweden, United Kingdom have reduced the number of deaths of the rate of 85%. And this shows that even with the presence of a lot of population and cars, we can assure us road safety. And the aims of the conference that we have achieved was this, to learn from the other experiences and to how to catalyze the actions of the road safety in the world. This conference was successful, and we have received a wonderful reception and hospitality from the Moroccan government, and I would like to thank you, dear Minister, once again for this wonderful reception that we have received. And it was well organized, the hospitality was magnificent, and there was enthusiasm from all the participants. If I can summarize it by the energy that has been achieved by the young people, by the non-governmental organization, and also the government. We have 100 ministers present in the conference, and this is the first time. And these ministers, we invited them, and they gave us promises of actions, and this is what we wanted to see through the United Nation of system, and we have identified objective of the reduction of 50% of dead people on the road by the end of the 2030. And 10 countries have been able to achieve this. So this reduction can be achieved in a few years. During this conference, the minister have given us promises that are very important. And the country, Colombia, Bangladesh, Thailand, Zambia, Sweden, they have given us a new action plan, new law, in order to improve the infrastructure, the quality of cars, and to ameliorate also the collect of data and all the things that will reduce the death rate. And at the World Health Organization and with the government present, we will work hand in hand in order to have a better implementation of these promises. And I would like to thank once again the Moroccan government and also His Majesty the King Mohammed VI for the honor that he has given us, and he has given us the prize of Mohammed VI. Thank you. Thank you very much, Etienne. And I would like to invite Mr. Jantod in order to give us your words or impression on the conference. Mr. Jantod, the floor is yours. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be at the closing ceremony of this fourth interministerial conference here in Morocco. And I would like to mention that I have a strong link with Morocco, because I have a lot of memories. And they remind me that I won a Morocco rally with a Peugeot, a car, and His Majesty was the one who gave us the prize. and life has changed. And since 10 years, I am the special envoy of the Secretary General for Road Safety. And once it has been decided by the World Health Organization that the fourth interministerial conference will be held in Marrakesh, it was a good news for me. Why? Because Morocco is the country of hospitality, and in addition, it is a country that we know that the user of roads are vulnerable for and we have a lot of death in people in the road because of road accidents, and this was the occasion to do the survey and to calculate the number of the dead people. And it has been under the high patronage of His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, who has been committed to give us a prize, and it shows also its interest and also the presence of the government chief, and also the presence of the Minister of Transportation, and also the commitment since the beginning or the kickoff of these conferences related to NARSA. And our friend also Boulajoul, who has done a wonderful job with his team behind the scenes, and also with all the partners that are around me. And we have talked for a few days, and this is what I have wrote in this book, which is named "The Silent Pandemic on the Road." And the purpose is that we need to wake up this pandemic, and I can guarantee you that we have arrived. But we can't assure you that we cannot achieve this alone, and we need to join our efforts, because I think that it is easy to take the measures, but we need to have certain actions, and we need to take it together. We have the secret, which is education, communication, and you have seen the awareness raising campaign with the United Nations campaign, and with the help of a wonderful person, which is who is Nawal Mutawakkil, and also the support of a Paralympic champion Iman Al-Aldawi, and the champions as Teddy Heiner, in order to influence people. So we need to influence, and in order to do this, we need you. Because when you write and when you speak, it is mandatory and it is essential and crucial. So education, communication, and implementation of law. You need to help us to raise awareness, and we need to be severe with the people who do not obey the law that are present on the road, the car quality of road, and the quality of the rescue operation. And for example, there are certain things that are very simple. For example, wearing a seat belt. And I am sure that you have never put your seat belt while sitting in the back of your car. And you need to know that this will have a negative impact because and I would like to advise you to wear your seat belt while sitting in the back on the back of your car. So this is why we have opted to give helmets for motorcycles. Since we have seat belts for car, we need to have helmet for motorcycle, and this is shows that it's working. Another that the minister has talked about, which follows the norms of the United Nations, and it is well ventilated because it's very hot and it's less than $20. And I will try to try it. and it's useful. Nothing's happened, and this shows that we can save one life. We need also to respect the speed limits and also the usage of drugs and alcohol while driving, the use of the cell phone. And if we try and we are able to control this, we can be able to achieve the sustainable development goal. And this is the purpose, and this is everything that has been mentioned. And the Marrakesh Declaration is very important, and the role that Morocco has played is wonderful, because this country is a catalyzer and on everything that will be happening in Africa in the future. So the summary is wonderful, and we need to start working, and we will do it together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Todd, for this reminder on everything that we need to do. And now we will go back. We will go to the questions of the press or the media. Said, our colleague from the World Bank, would like to take the floor. Said, the floor is yours. Can I speak in Arabic? Can I speak in Arabic? I would like to speak in Arabic. First of all, I would like to highlight the World Bank and also to express my gratitude for His Majesty the King Mohammed VI. May God assist him for this good hospitality. And I would like also to highlight also the efforts of the chief of government chief, and I would like also to thank the Minister of Logistics, Mr. Abdessamad Qayyouh, who gathered us here in this room and in this wonderful conference. And I would like to thank Bonasser Boulajoul and his team, and Mr. Mafa, Hisham, and Saeed, and all the team, because the preparation of this conference is not a piece of cake, and this is not very easy. We have the World Health Organization with the World Bank. We have organized 3 international conferences in Russia, Brazil, and in Sweden too. And without exaggeration, all the previous conferences had its achievement, but what we have witnessed here is a wonderful achievement. I'm talking about organization, the presence, and also the commitment. And by this, I would like to thank Morocco once again. And I would like to mention that the World Bank is committed, and all the development bank, in order to contribute and to help and to support all the countries in order to avoid and to curb this problem. And this is the silent pandemic. And we are committed, and we have mentioned during this time that the World Bank will support, will give 10 billions in the following years. But we are committed to help and to support more if there is a request from the other countries. And here I would like to highlight of the decision, the historical decision, because that the kingdom has adopted that each motorcycle will be with 2 helmets, will be given by 2 helmets. And this decision that we have mentioned with our dear colleagues, but unfortunately it was not adopted by any country, but Morocco has adopted this decision, and this is a wonderful thing and a wonderful achievement. And I would like to call all the countries in order to achieve this. And we are present in order to help and the technical support and in order to help the countries in order to adopt this decision.
Merci Saïd.
Thank you very much, Saeed. Thank you for the financial commitment. I hope that this will serve as inspiration for all the other donors as there is a clear need for further financing. We will now start our Q&A. If you have any questions, please. Rania, can you help? Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Yusuf Tababi from the Shada FM Group Network. Thank you very much, Your Excellency Minister. It has been noticed that now the Marrakesh announcement has been agreed upon by all the countries, and which insisted on cooperation in different areas, especially for low-income countries, mainly African countries. My question is, was the financing strategy to enhance road safety was taken into consideration, and how can we translate that into realities? Allow me. This question is to be answered by the gentleman in charge of money, not me. Thank you very much. Of course, the cost of the Marrakesh Declaration is a great cost, and we have assumed that it will be $400 billion for the next 10 years. But there are a lot of effort from various countries, be it from the incomes of the national budget of the road, health systems, or development banks. What we noticed this week is the readiness of the private sector to work hand in hand with the public sector to finance these strategies, and we have a plan from the World Bank to work on how to benefit from the private sector in order to work in a complementary way with the public sector. From our experience, the public sector alone cannot finance these plans. We have to work together, especially from the private sector, and here comes the role of the banks and the stakeholders who are actually interested in the field of development and social help. We are actually ready to assist any country to develop their strategic plan, but with condition is that it aligns with the Marrakesh Declaration.
Morocco for the great organization and for the recent announcement of the commitment that you provided. For the panel, the Ministerial Conference on Road Safety was about clear commitments and clear accountability frameworks. Can you point to measurable commitments with clear deadlines that stakeholders, specifically governments, must meet? And if they do not meet those commitments, what are the consequences?
Maybe Etienne, you want to start?
Thanks for the great question. And of course, we all want this conference to lead to concrete action, and we will make all the efforts possible to see that happen. We're in the process of compiling the commitments and analyzing them, but there have been several very concrete commitments. I know Thailand, for example, made commitments with measurable targets in reductions in deaths. Bangladesh made commitments about new laws, others about new plans. There are a number of very concrete commitments. Others are still in process because the process will continue after the conference for the submission of those commitments And of course, it's work in progress. What we want is to catalyze action and see a number of efforts evolve over time. We will work together with the bank, together with civil society on the implementation of these commitments. But I think what counts is the interest of the many ministers who were there, and I talked to almost all of them, and I really sensed a difference now than 5 or 10 years ago in their willingness to do more, because I think everybody now understands that we cannot continue with the transport system we have, that we have solutions, and that it's high time to implement them. Thank you.
Accountability, Craig, Etienne. So are there consequences for the commitments if they are not held?
Thank you very much. Just to add something about what says my friend Etienne, you know, the title was chosen for this event is Commit to Life. And of course, the deadline that was previous for this goal is to reduce 50% of the number of the victims on the road that we have today. Not today, but in 24. And the goal of 2030, we have to reduce it to 50%. Number of accidents, number of the victims. That is the first goal. Of course, all what we need to rush this goal will need a lot of change from legislation, a lot of money, because financing is the most the most interesting or the primary condition to rush this goal, exceptionally for the countries who have very low income. So, what gives us more courage and more reason to rush this goal is the Declaration of Marrakesh, which was adopted today. So for us, it's another reason and another opportunity to rush this goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. I'm going to take questions here, and then we'll go back there. There was a question over there as well. Please go ahead.
Mohammed Sliki from 12.ma. Nowadays, Morocco renews its commitment once again that it is committed to support the policies of road safety in order to save lives. The evidence for that is the award of His Majesty King Mohammed VI to support research in the field of policies of road safety. Second, the organization of this actual conference in Marrakesh, which was crowned with the Marrakesh Declaration, means that Morocco is raising the challenge for the 2030 objective to reduce the number of casualties by 50%. Of course, this is a big challenge, and Morocco is capable of overcoming this challenge, but it needs to learn from the experiences from foreign countries and other experiences, in addition to donors. Morocco is full of open projects throughout the kingdom, which are big challenges, including the organization of the World Cup 2030. These challenges maybe urge Morocco to improve its gains and to benefit from the experiences of other countries. And internationally speaking, I believe that this conference has tackled the role of artificial intelligence in supporting these policies to save lives internationally. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for this valuable question. In fact, the award of His Majesty King Mohammed VI for road safety that he granted it for this conference and the coming conferences represents the commitment of the Kingdom of Morocco. with the international community in various fields and situations that requires from the international community to be aligned to reach certain objectives, as it is the same situation for the Hassan II Award for Water. This award, of course, is an honor for those in charge in the international community, and it represents the country's commitment. As you know, this conference tackled many topics by international experts, ministers, road safety agencies, and in fact there were exchange of expertise, successful ones, of course. How can we determine a successful experience? It starts from the planning, the implementation, and the outcomes of this experience after 5 or 10 years, because some of the plans and experiences, for example, cannot be reviewed unless 5 years have passed, and in some cases after the passing of 10 years. These are long-term and mid-term plans, as it is the case for the educational plan for young students. And the measures that are taken by every country is not related only to the means, because there are certain countries without naming which are not, for example, ranked as developed countries, as rich countries, but they have reduced the mortality rate on the road by using certain means. Of course, we are going to refer to those means later on and how to use them. In the speech delivered by the president of the WHO, there was something very important, which is that nobody has the secret ingredient. From all the experiences, the previous ones cannot be applied as a standard action. Every state has its own vision and has their sovereignty, of course, and has their legislations. And every state has a certain way of implementing their policies. This is why we say that these discussions, which were enriched by men and women from all around the world, was an opportunity to share experiences and expertise. And in Morocco, we have our own, and we do not feel that we are not that we cannot say that we have not succeeded in certain things. Well, of course, there are sometimes failures, but this is a place where we share everything, the good results and the bad results, because our objective is to reach the 50% reduction of mortality rate by 2030. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There was a question here. Go ahead, sir. Peace be upon you. Hassan al-Bidawi from channel the 7th TV. Maybe Your Excellency, Minister of Transport and Logistics, we can say that Morocco has emerged victorious after 2 years of preparation. We have organized a very good organized. I would like to ask you, Your Excellency, the Minister, how do you evaluate the participation of African countries, especially that His Majesty is paying keen attention to the African states? Another question to His Excellency, the Minister. We know that we have one day, which is the 18th of February, as an International Day of Road Safety. Don't you believe that we should work on the road safety throughout the year, especially in schools? Another question, which is the third question, it's not really a question, but alongside the organizing of this conference, we noticed one thing, which is that the number of deaths has been reduced immensely. There were no deaths during the days in which this conference was held.
شكرا.
Thank you very much. Regarding your question about the participation of African countries, the number of countries that participated were 55 countries. 55 ministers have attended the conference, and 15 officials of road safety agencies from these countries attended, and the participation was very positive. During the conference, multiple meetings were organized with multiple African countries. That was an opportunity to enrich our relation with those countries and to see the possibility of cooperating with these countries within the field of road safety. Regarding the element of education, and especially for young students, I believe that this is a project that has been launched a long time ago, and we are developing curricula that is programmed by NARSA, the National Agency for Road Safety, in cooperation with the Ministry of Education in all the regions of the kingdom. We are required today to go faster and to include more children, because according to the specialist, I am new in my position. I have been only appointed for 3 months ago, but His Excellency John Todd, who has been 12-time the winner of the Formula One, he was the president of Ferrari, Peugeot, and he is the special envoy of the Secretary of the United Nations, is based on a long experience. Throughout our discussions, we have a lot to learn from them, and of course with Mr. Etienne, who is actually someone who has a lot of experience about road safety, we noticed that the element of education is very important, and there are those who can talk about it better than me. For example, in the Scandinavian countries, they have the least amount of accidents. But at the same time, we have to remember that they have education related to road safety starting from 3 years old. For example, when students start going to kindergarten, they learn about road safety. They start learning about road safety at the age of 5 as well, until they are 15 years old. They receive education regarding road safety that may allow them to have a driving license at the age of 16, of course, while being accompanied by another driver. These experiences resulted in very good results, because the amount of deadly accidents, and Mr. Etienne Croc can confirm that, and John Todd can confirm that, have been reduced. This is why I say that education is very, very important, and thank you very much.
En fait, sur notre planète, il y a 8 milliards d'habitants. Et il y a 8
There are 8 billion road users. I think we shouldn't say it is just the government's responsibility. Yes, they do have a responsibility, but there is also individual responsibility. Everyone, every single individual must be aware of the dangers on the road. 4 years ago, we had COVID. Everybody was scared. everybody wore a mask. And I think we need to make people understand, each individual users of the road, we need to make them understand, especially as we have done in quite a few countries, especially developed countries. But we need to explain to everyone that the road is dangerous. And if we can change the behavior of people, and this is the objective of this conference, of this Marrakesh Declaration, is to change individual behavior and make people understand what the danger is. It's not a question of massive finance here. I think we definitely need to work on ODD, SDG 11.2. We need to develop public transport. We need to encourage people to use public transport. This is a holistic approach, but requires the involvement of each and everyone. Honourable Minister.
Just to stress on the participation of African states, it was 52 countries that have attended the conference. 35 countries are represented by ministers, and the other 10 or 13 states were represented by road agencies.
Il nous reste le temps pour une seule.
We have enough time for just one final question. Go ahead. Could we have a lady asking a question, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Khawla Jafri from Sahifa newspaper. I would like, first of all, to congratulate our country for the organization of this conference. My first question is about the helmet. If His Excellency the Minister if it is possible for His Excellency the Minister to provide more details about the helmet that Morocco will be the first country to be adopting the criteria. We want to have more details about the background behind adopting this helmet. In addition to that, the decision about two-wheel or three-wheels vehicles, and do you believe that the $20 price for each helmet is a good price and affordable for people? Another question is that we all talk about the infrastructure, the road, the helmet. However, can we talk about the quality of the production of these helmets? Nowadays, I do not have the number exactly. Maybe Mr. Boulajoul can know the number better than me about what we call the war of roads and the percentage of the victims who are young. These people who are victims because of the bad criteria of the production of these helmets that come from different countries from Asia. My question is, are there any obliging resolutions from the United Nations about the quality of the production of these helmets? If there were binding resolutions of the United Nations, I believe it would be better, and thank you very much.
When
it comes to the helmet, the standards are not European, they are United Nations. It's the 2205 and 2206. This helmet was developed with different producers across the world. It is ventilated and costs less than $20. The decision of the minister is to ensure that every motorbike sold the same way that you sell a car with seat belts, every motorbike will be sold with 2 UN standard helmets. And the Moroccan government will reach out to different helmet producers to ensure they are compliant. And this was discussed privately with other ministers to see how Morocco could long-term be able to produce such helmets that are UN compliant. You also mentioned the issue of compliance of vehicles, not just motorbikes, but cars as well. Some cars are sold, some motorbikes that can also be quite old, very often in so-called developed countries, vehicles cannot be sold second-hand and are then shipped to low-income countries. There are programs which have been implemented with different governments to ensure that such vehicles are not used as much as they are today. We know there are these issues. It's not easy to solve such issues given the lack of public transport, and sometimes we need to have 4 or 5 people on an old motorcycle to go from A to B. This is just one of the things that we need to improve and on which we are working to make the road safer for all users. Thank you, Jean.
I would like to highlight the fact that this decision is a very great decision. The reason behind it is that in Morocco we have around 1,600 people who die because they are bike users, between 1,500 and 1,600. If we implement this resolution, we can reduce the number by half, which means that we can save 800 people every year, meaning that there is a great gain from implementing such a resolution. This is why I said in my statement this is a historic decision and a great one. Thank you very much, Said.
Nous sommes arrivés à l'heure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of our press conference. I would give the floor to my colleague for his last few comments.
In Arabic, we say, he who does not thank people, he does not even thank God.
I would therefore like to thank all those who have contributed to the successful and splendid success of this organization, and I would like to remind you that we enjoyed the benefit of a certain number of committees, in particular the coordination, particularly the coordination committee under the aegis of the minister, whom I'd like to thank, and also his staff, who has always been available. The science committee was presided by me and Mr. Nan as well, and Mr. Krug, and the success of this event is shared between both the Kingdom of Morocco and the WHO, and I am very proud of having met Mr. Krug, and as he is of a very high caliber, as just as well as Mr. Nan is. I would also like to thank the different commissions, the Science Commission, the director who worked tirelessly with her team, closely hand in hand with Mr. Nan, as well as the communication committee, and say Mr. Chebous, Mr. Abdelkader, Mr. Hashimi for their logistics. I know also there is a team that has worked tirelessly. Mr. Shahawi, I mentioned. Please provide a warm round of applause. I would also like to thank the Logistics Commission and Mr. Jury in particular, who has done remarkable work with the sponsors. And I would also like to thank all the sponsors who have accompanied us every step of the way to ensure the success of this event, their contribution, for their attendance from almost all around the world. And I would also like to thank the logistics and coordination or reservations committee, a lady in particular that I would like to thank, Rasha Layadi. Raja, are you there? Unfortunately, she's not here, but she has worked tirelessly day and night, so I would like to thank her, and also the central directors of the NARSA, Moroccan agencies, Road Safety Agency, who for their constant support. And if this conference was such a success, it is because there were men and women who have worked tirelessly. I am very proud to be Moroccan and have seen this level of commitment in honor of our country. I would also like to highlight how delighted I am to have been working with a service provider and all the little hands who have provided fantastic work. Ines, Malak, and all the team, and in particular, Martin, Florent, and all the team. And as well, C. Hussein for his constant availability, and we shan't either forget the Communications Committee of the Honorable Mr. Khadija, Munya, Karima, and all the team there. Please, my apologies if I forget somebody, but thank you very much again. And we wish you an excellent meal. Thank you. I would also like to thank
the Moroccan National Press. This conference wouldn't have been successful as it is without your role that you have played in Moroccan road safety. Thank you very much.